she did it, but then for her show she was like 59 and then I felt like I'm punching the bag, like heavy bag on her show. And I was
How long does it take to get down?
45 minutes, but we've gone through 3 stops.
I think that another thing that makes boxing brutal is trying to be normal while being obsessed.
Watch that. If you do go back, hands up, just stick under the
It is
shot.
impossible not to be obsessed if you want to be better than yesterday, if you want to win, or even just to see if you are capable of making another limitation limitless. And having that obsession and be around people who don't have any obsession makes you crazy. And it's not because you are crazy, but because people don't always understand where you're going.
Go on, have a look, go on, have a look. I didn't see if I one left hook, one off. It is pure straight punches.
it could be like a water.
Waiting for the opponent.
The hardest part of the training that people don't see is mindset. People don't realize that you are living 24/7 with your biggest enemy. It's the constant fight with the mindset. The struggle is real. Many times I wake up and my body is in pain, either from training or after sparring, or I feel exhausted, even though I just woke up. And obviously at this point I wish I could stay in bed or have a rest day, but this is what the voice in my head wants, to be comfortable.
Keep at least one hand up, Victoria. That's it. Look for the gap. Look for the gap. That's it. That's it.
Good. Now step forward. Now stall Zoe, step forward into that. Good work. Good go. Step forward, step forward. Good go. Pressure on, pressure on. Good go.
That's it.
Good work. Now follow it. What's next? Box her away, good go. Great stuff. Zoe.
It's about understanding that emotions needs to be turned off most of the times. It doesn't mean I shouldn't have emotions, but to recognize them and don't let them interfere with my training. Also, another thing that people might not see is loneliness. But at some point you get used to being there by yourself, with yourself. Of course, there are coaches, but they are not with you all day, every day. There are many sessions that have to be done by yourself, and then the times when you're on your own. You end up spending so much time in your own headspace by analyzing the tactics or techniques, reflecting on the practice of sparring or fight, creating new tactics, training plans.
That's it. Fire people like that every time. Because she's it.
So end of the day is being lonely and most time not being fully understood by family or friends. And also it's getting lonely because most of the time people can't see what you see. The hardest part of training that people don't see, I would say, is the constant performance. No matter how sore you are, tired, hungry, or thirsty.
She's a bit like that, yeah, like sword fencing. That's it. Bang!
Yeah.
Bang, bang.
Yeah.
So, no,
Oh, single, same arm?
1 inch.
Okay.
Come on, look. See when you put your hand like that, all I do is that.
Yeah.
Yeah, not that.
Yeah. Pam pam. Okay.
That's
too much.
That's it, that's all it is. You stand up close.
Yeah.
That's it. Your arms like that.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. You're about to go 5
Yeah.
up. Not like that.
When the training is on, it's on. You either perform well and you win with yourself, or you don't and you let your mind win.
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it.
Catch that and throw the 3 out. First line, first.
Oh my god, I need to keep moving for like... Huh? Yeah. At the same time, I don't want to be on my back leg. I don't want to be on the ropes. Because she's from Wales. That's a kind of home show. I'm from Poland, I'm not even British.
Yeah.
So I already lost a point here because of my name. That's why I need to be like in the center as much as I can. The game of boxing makes boxing beautiful. Boxing is physical, but at the same time, it's mind game.
That's it, good work.
Lots of times it's compared to the game of chess. And I think that this is really beautiful because everyone can punch, but why to throw the punch? How? With what intensity? How much power to use? And what is the next step?
Where's the rest of it? Your legs.
Minute to go.
Well, and follow it up.
Get the hands up.
What your opponent can do, how they can attack you when you throw this punch, and more questions can be asked.
Keep live.
That's it. Good girl, see? Again. That's it.
Don't stall
Now,
that back
bend the knees.
40
seconds. Sorry, got it.
Freeze and forward.
That's it, target. That's
Freeze
it.
and forward.
Boxing taught me a lot about my own mind, how far I can push myself, and where still my mind draws the limits.
No straight line. Go that. Get under. The moment you go like that, she's with it.
Yeah.
Right?
It shows me where is the fear, and it checks every day if I can get there and overcome that fear, or maybe today is not the day and I need to back up a bit.
No, that same hand. So that way.
Okay.
That's it. And once you do it, it's not
Do I push it or?
just sort of deflection.
Yeah.
So when she's here, look at her one. Put your hand out.
No, it's happening, it's just down. That's the kind of speed levels.
But every day I learn something new about myself. I let myself feel new things and discover new emotions.
No, because you're only going to, I want full, turn the hip. 1, 2, 3, lock it out. 4, Other side. I need more. Extend.
Boxing taught me how to be humble and patient. Every day during the training, I take my body and my mind to places that are very lonely, painful, not understood by others.
Follow that work up.
Sit, take a step.
Follow that work up.
Breathe. That's it. 40 seconds. Good. Good.
Good go. And again. Go twice every time now. So.
30 seconds.
And I do it because I want to, not because someone tells me to.
Right, that's it. Good. Straight your right hand up, good job.
And it's always something. Today I asked them, is there anyone's birthday? And then there was a couple. And the guy is like, yeah, it's my wife's birthday. I'm like, when? In September. I was like, cool, let's celebrate.
Also, boxing taught me how to be brave. I'm less afraid at some situations that might be out of my control. Boxing taught me how to be calm and control what I can control.
Just step back. And then when she doubled it or tripled it, this is when she pushed me. I was like, experimenting, the intensity was quite good, wasn't it?
Which is my behavior, how to act, what I do, and how I respond to different
Sit
situations.
down sparring on Monday.
Also, another beautiful thing in boxing for me is having my coaches who saw my vision and didn't tell me that is impossible or laughed at me.
Pick up again immediately.
Massive target, come on, good girl. And again, first shot again.
But they saw my vision and they said, okay, let's do it. No questions asked, we started to work, and it's so beautiful that people who you just met in your life, sometimes total strangers, believe in you and your vision more than your own family or friends, and I think that's beautiful.
Again, Zoe, 30 seconds. Big push now. Twice every time.
Boxing is creative, and it's about how creative you can be in a split second while being under the pressure. Everything feels like it clicks in boxing, mostly during the sparring or fight. There are hours of training and even more hours of reflection.
I mean, this exercise is better than 10. Because remember, this exercise is almost the, yeah, that's the last exercise.
If I work on something, it lives in my head rent-free until I can do it in my head and in my practice. Even during strength and conditioning training, when I work on some speed or power exercises, and sometimes I'm rubbish in the beginning, but after a few weeks I'm doing it and I'm getting better. It's all about the repetition and practice, but it is a great feeling when everything clicks and you know that all that training actually works.